Welcome to the Sideline Debrief. This is Jamie, and I'm joined by Ethan here today. Today we're going to be talking about some of the.
Go on.
Today we're going to be talking about the Premier League and then some of the deadline day. I believe we're going to start with Leeds, and we're going to focus on Leeds and Manchester United as they have faced off twice this week.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is. Ethan here as our resident Leeds fan is of course going to be a little biased, but he managed to watch most of the games. I only caught bits and pieces of both. If you kind of just want to walk us through the beginning, or walk us through a quick synopsis of the game, and then we'll get more into Leeds and their manager situation.
Yeah, just today's game in general. So, I will say, surprisingly, Junior Firpo, for 80 minutes, besides one sloppy tackle, redemption arc is beginning, I will say. He played pretty surprisingly well. It was literally, we didn't have the possession, but we were stopping all of their attacks, literally, up until the 80th minute mark, and then Rashford, by a hair, was onside with his header, and then they scored at the 85th minute mark again. Unfortunate. But I mean, it's Manchester United. We were lucky to take one point away from both matches. I will say, we don't have a manager. I won't complain. We played good for most of the game. Then Jorginho Ruter comes on. Doesn't know what to do, it feels. Bamford at least held up good, but his touch is still at a brick wall, so he can't really do much. But I mean,
like
we've had good chances though. Somerville and Nanto again carried. Harrison actually, surprisingly though, is a 10. He's actually much better as a 10 though than I feel as a left mid or left wing. So I like that better for him. Yeah, McKennie and Adams, they're great. They're dogs, but sometimes they just get the ball and just kick it away. It's like they got no plan once they get it.
A lack of creativity. Yeah. So
yeah.
I watched about the beginning of the second half till about the 80th minute.
So wait, did you see when they scored?
No, I didn't. I walked away right before they scored. I got the notification like 2 minutes after. But from what I could watch, Leeds were very much in control of the game. United looked timid, and you guys came out pressing really well. And I thought that, that's your DNA basically. That's what Leeds do. You just press. But yeah, I thought Harrison was super impressive. Ayling caught my eye because he kept getting on the ball far forward positions. Firpo had a really good run through the defense. There's lots of good things to take away from the game. But at the end of the day, you guys dominated for a long period of time and didn't score. And that's the story of Leeds over and over and over again. You create all these chances, but you can't score them unless it's Rodrigo. And
I know.
Rodrigo's going to be out for 2 months.
No, beginning of March. It was estimated that beginning of March. That's estimated though. But I mean, and then Sinisterra and Strouk both got injured against United last game.
Everyone's had a bit of injury issues at the moment, but we'll get on the Spurs later. They've been hit pretty hard this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then in the managerial search, I know that Leeds is struggling. What have you been seeing?
No updates yet. Apparently, Iraola from Valent. It's hard to pronounce the name. Let me just. No disrespect, but I gotta look up their name real quick. Iraola from Rayo Vallecano. Apparently, he wants out. That's what I've heard. He wants the Leeds job, but there's just a release clause that really is just like the team wants to keep him badly. Obviously, they're in 6th place in La Liga after just getting promoted last season. So, but from what I've heard, Arne Slot, no.
That's a fight.
The West Brom coach, I forgot his name.
Carlos.
He also said no. He just signed a new contract. I mean, so far, even the commentators are like, "Yep." During today's game, like, "Yep, no solution yet."
No, and it's just kind of crazy that you fired a coach, and you fired him when you did. You didn't fire him over, the World Cup break when they would.
And that's what everybody's saying.
Or fire the coach during the January transfer window when you bring in another coach and give him time.
I looked at the Premier League subreddit. I looked at Leeds. I looked at everybody, and they're like, "We should have fired him like last month." Or like,
yeah.
Or like, well, we had time.
or at the very least, fire him and have a plan for a new coach. I mean,
We
when you look at
when we
Everton,
fired Bielsa, we had a plan in March. I don't know what happened.
yeah, yeah, that's like I know Southampton. They just fired their coach today, Nathan Jones, who
They finally fired him.
Yeah, they fired him that quickly. I think he had 10 Premier League games, 9 losses, 1 win, coming against Frank Lampard's Everton. Anyone could beat them, but but he's gone, right? But even when he came in, that was the plan immediately. The second they fired Hasenhüttl, they knew they were going to bring in Nathan Jones. You know,
Yeah.
Leeds, they just feel like they were like, uh-oh, panic, and just fired. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they've done well to get a point against Manchester United, but it feels like it would even made more sense to keep
In the following two games, it was a probably play Everton away, then Southampton at home. Speaking of the two teams that you just brought up.
Yeah, and if you don't have a coach for that, and the team's not, buying into the coach's system, you lose those games. Suddenly, Leeds management, Victor Orta, and everyone else is going to start looking really, really, really silly.
I mean, with the 49ers taking over in the summer, it's inevitable. The amount of money they just dumped into the January transfer window for a player that I feel doesn't do much when to retire so far. No, McKennie is actually like, he runs around the field, he's box to box. He gets the ball back, he just doesn't know what to do when he gets the ball, which, to his credit, while Roke is out, that's all that we got.
It'd be interesting if you guys end up getting relegated, because I think a lot of that you brought in recently, even the younger guys like Milton and Somerville, they won't stick around.
I feel like... no, it will suck. No, yeah. But, I mean, we'll make a ton of money out of it once we sell them, yes. Spread money around just for more depth for championship-level players. Then hopefully bounce back, which is what they should do, but it's Leeds. I'm not going to trust that they just buy $80 million on Ivan Toney and then just don't do anything else when we have 4 strikers.
Yeah. I mean, you're not buying Ivan Toney. That's for certain.
I know. I was just throwing a name out there. But I mean, I feel like players like Rodrigo, Harrison would stay. Like, just players like that have been here for a while. Hey, Rodrigo's got nowhere else to go, for being honest. He's found his stride.
He has, but a player of Rodrigo's quality should be playing in the first division somewhere. And same with Harrison. Harrison has been linked to Newcastle and Leicester endlessly.
He was actually in Leicester. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But moving on to the other side of the game today, United finally finding some form under Ten Hag. I've actually been quite impressed with them. I think he's done well to completely change the identity of that team. Their best player by far, who was missing for both these Leeds games.
Casemiro got a red card for choking, and then Eriksen's just injured.
Yeah,
it wasn't choking. He just had his hands like this on the collar, which it looked like choking though from the camera.
The photo was quite.
Yeah.
I mean, funny's one, but it was very, very Casemiro.
No, yeah.
But,
the Madrid didn't leave him, but he left Madrid.
Exactly. So whenever I've had the chance to watch United Casemiro, you can just see how he is so important to that system and how he's completely changed it. And at the same time, up front, Weghorst, even though he hasn't brought in any goals, he's just doing all the hard yards that,
Honestly, today he was invisible, though, I will say. Like, I will say that. Yeah.
He's a bit like a Harry Kane kind of thing, he drops in more, which allows Rashford or Sancho or Fernandes, whoever's playing out on wing Garnacho, to run in behind in that space, which is why Rashford's doing so well.
He's a taller, shittier Harry Kane that can't pass. That's all that he really is.
I guess so.
In Vegas.
Yes. But
I've
been very impressed with them, I think.
Rashford, 21 goals this season. Overall, 14 in the Premier League.
Yep.
So, it's nothing to scoff at.
Just checking now to see where he is in the goal scorers table this season.
I think he's 4th, 3rd, maybe. Because Harry Kane's above him. Harry Kane is 15. Yeah.
Kane's sitting on 17.
17, sorry.
Is sitting on 14. Somehow he hasn't been suspended for all that betting stuff. And then...
Wait, Ivan Toney? What happened with Ivan Toney?
You haven't heard about the betting?
No, actually.
I'm not sure how much I can explain about this, but around the time of the World Cup, when he was trying to be picked for the national team and stuff, he had that kind of famous celebration against Manchester City where he didn't get picked, so he put his fingers in
Yeah.
his ears, and there was that whole big thing. Well, like the next day it came out, he was involved in like match betting. Like I forget
Ooh.
exactly how many counts, but I want to say it was close to 100 or more. It wasn't just like a one-off kind of thing. It was like a big thing. So he shouldn't. I mean, it's obviously guilty or innocent until proven guilty. Let me see if I can get the number up here. But sorry, 30 breaches of FA betting rules. Oh, he originally had been charged with over 232. So, and then hit with another 30. So
you saying he's been
that's
betting for like 5 years in the Premier League?
yeah. I mean, he's only been in the Prem for 2 years. He's worked his way up.
But he's been betting
He was
though.
scoring one.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's been
betting
betting.
the whole time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'll do you. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's why you won't bring in Ivan Toney because he might not be able to play in the Prem next year. But yeah,
He was as much as I hate him for scoring, I think 3 times against Leeds, he is a quality player. Like, I feel bad. Not about him, but about the quality that he had.
yeah, that I might. But
Yeah, but I mean,
today's.
sorry,
Mhm.
go on.
I was just gonna kind of circle back to the United Leeds game. That's just gonna move up United to second in the table.
Manchester City, though, are
Obviously,
playing in about a few minutes, though.
yeah, in a few minutes. But the fact that they are in second this season, I didn't really expect that much from them. I expected them to come third or fourth. In best case, it just shows that's what a good job Ten Hag is doing. And then for Leeds, they are currently outside the relegation zone
By a
only
point.
a point.
Yeah.
Right. They do have better goal difference than some of the teams around them, but it's not looking great. Especially with
It's
Sean Dyche.
literally, it's just about. We are statistically the worst team to ever play in the Premier League. Defensively, at least 2 goals scored on us per game in a whole calendar year.
Oh yeah, I remember that stat.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So it was when Rodrigo was on the pitch. It wasn't even about scoring goals. We proved that we can do that. It was defensively, and I feel like now defensively with Vober and Firpo not looking bad, but like we have defensive depth now. We're gonna get better with that, but now it's just about scoring without Rodrigo for a little bit and doing what we can.
Yep, big project going on is that whoever the new manager is going to have a big job on their hands.
Yeah.
And,
But I mean, speaking of a big job though, what about Conte at Spurs?
Oh yeah. So yesterday that game, that's another one I walked away from around the 80th minute. That one it didn't.
No,
happen.
yeah, I was watching it in bed. I won't lie. Just seeing what's going on.
Spurs have had a weird week. If we go back a week ago, I think it was last Saturday, so 8 days ago, we beat Manchester City at home 1-0. And everything was great. We had a clean injury bill, except for Conte, because he had surgery. So the backup coach, fully fit team. We beat City. We're like, all right, this is going to kickstart our season. We're going to do great. Fast forward a week later, 4-1 loss to Leicester when the team looked like they never got going. They never got out of second gear. I mean, we started the first 10, 15 minutes as the better team, but from that point, we were second to every ball. The players didn't look like they cared. The defense was so fragile.
Pentacore too, not even to mention that.
Oh yeah, I was going to get to the injuries here in a minute.
Oh.
The game was terrible. We went down on halftime, I believe, at 2-1, and just it's the same story with that defense. We're on course to concede something like 56, 60 goals this season. That's like Leeds numbers.
I think it was 58 goals that I saw on
Yeah.
Reddit. Yeah.
And we haven't conceded over 40.
Don't say Leeds numbers. I think we conceded over that. So.
Probably, but I mean, like, we have one of the. I think Leeds and Spurs might have some of the worst defenses in the league this season.
I mean, yeah.
Spurs have conceded 35. Teams who have conceded more are Leicester, Nottingham, Leeds, Bournemouth, Southampton.
Literally, it's just the bottom 6 and then you.
And basically,
Yeah.
and it is a cause for concern because we were missing Romero today or yesterday, and a back line of Davies, Tanganga, and Dyer, that isn't a top four defense. I like Tanganga, but he rarely plays, and when he plays, he gets one go every 9 months, and we expect him to play well. He's never going to. Davies, he's consistently Davies. He's not gonna raise the level of the team. He's just gonna do his job. And then Dyer, I don't know. A year ago, I was singing his praises, but
Just inconsistent again.
he's just Dyer sometimes. There's no other way to explain it. Sometimes he plays like Maldini. Sometimes he plays like Maguire on his worst day. Or Liam Cooper on his worst day.
No, yeah.
The inconsistency is frustrating. But as I said, a clean bill of health last week. In the past week, we've lost Hugo Lloris for 8 weeks. Our captain, our starting goalkeeper, Forster, had an absolute nightmare against Leicester. Looked terrible, way out of his league. Which he was playing this league last year. I don't know why he looked so bad.
I mean, to be fair, though, a lot of that was up to your midfield and defense, allowing a ton of that to come through. I'm not saying it's all on them.
Yeah.
And Forster definitely.
We could have saved
yeah,
one of those.
At least one, but it was still 4-1 at the end of the day. So.
Yep. In the middle of the week, we found out Suman's going to be out for, I think, 2 months.
Yeah, he is going through surgery, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. And, I mean, although he hadn't hit the ground running, we kind of had 3 midfielders we've been rotating in the midfield, mainly like senior midfielders, not including Sarr and Skip. So he's gone now. And then before the game, we found out that Sessegnon hurt his hamstring and is out for 6 weeks. That's like the 4th time he's done his hamstring since he joined the club in 3 years. His hamstring's made of like string cheese. And then during the game, Bentancur goes down, and Bentancur never
with
goes
his knee,
down.
yeah.
With his knee, and rumors, I don't.
It's ACL or MCL, yeah.
Reports are saying 6 months.
I've seen reports saying 9 to 12 as well.
And he's been arguably one of our top 2 players this year with
Oh, obviously, and Kulusevski too. You guys got pretty vital with Kulusevski.
Mm-hmm.
Son has dropped off.
So that leads us going into playing Milan this midweek.
I was gonna bring that up. The thing is, though, I will say, have you seen Milan's record?
Yeah, they've been really poor.
They've been awful defensively.
But we're gonna be playing a 34-year-old left wing back every game for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And against the first game against Milan, Højbjerg gets suspended because he collected too many yellow cards.
Yeah.
So we are going to be starting Skip and Sarr.
You can say that, but again, second leg though, at least Højbjerg would be back second leg.
Mm-hmm. And
so
that'll be really important.
Yes. And are you guys at home or away first leg?
That is a great question.
Because depending on that too, like if Højbjerg's gone, but at least you're home. Yeah, but if I remember this correct, weren't you praising Skip last year?
Yes, back when Conte first came in. I mean, he just had that real long-term injury, and he hasn't quite come back the same player because he hasn't had the minutes. Because since he left, Bentancur's come in and really made the spot his own.
Yeah, I mean, even with substitutions though, it's been like nothing recently, it feels.
It's because Sarr's been playing well, and Sarr has looked good, but you'd rather have your Højbjerg and your Bentancur, especially with the way Conte's system is. You're overwhelmed in the midfield every single time.
I mean,
every single time.
Isn't Winks on loan? Isn't Winks on loan? Bring him back for another Champions League run. Come on.
We don't need any more Harry Winks. We know what Harry Winks will give us, and Skip will do that.
Yeah, that's true.
We could bring back Lo Celso on loan. We could bring back Ndombele on loan. I know it's not that.
And Ndombele's never coming back. If you guys are just waiting for a buyer, I feel like a ton. The way you guys got rid of Doherty and just completely said severed bonds because you have too many loan players. I don't know if you guys counted incorrectly, but you put him on loan and then said the contract is terminated.
That's what it felt like. And now that we don't have Sessi, and now that Perisic has to play constantly, or Emerson has to play both sides, which he played really well against City, don't get me wrong, that's the best I've ever seen him play, but we know Emerson's baseline performance. And if he's having to play constantly, his no-look passes,
I would say
Mistakes.
for strategically, just for like a couple games every now and then, to switch it up, play a four back with Emerson because he's better defensively. But like the thing is, you don't have another midfielder to put up to drag upwards too. So
Exactly. Exactly. We have. I could see an emergency situation. I think Ben Davies at left wing back. Um, I can see that, and then
what
Lucas
other?
Moura can play right wing back.
He's so. I hate to say it. He's very small
I
though.
don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
like it, but we may have to. It's just a really weird situation we find ourselves in. Because, I mean, ideally, your best player off the bench is Richarlison. He doesn't replace any of those injured players I'm talking about. Or Dan Juma. I want to see him have a go. He's, he hasn't come on yet.
Danjuma came on for a few minutes. Yeah, last game
No,
against Leicester, but that was it.
yeah, I switched it off because
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes scored the fourth. That got ruled out. And I was like, I don't want to see this anymore. And then I checked my phone later, and it was
No, it was me that told you. You said he got ruled out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you called me, and then I was like, no, he scored. Harvey Barnes still
Okay.
scored.
Yeah, that was dreadful. But yeah, this week it'll be real interesting to there.
That's fine. Anyway, pick up from where you left off. Sorry. Well, again, sorry about the interruption. Go on.
Yeah, yeah. Conte just hates this Champions League, but I think we can move on from Spurs and soccer.